Women have more credit card debt than men. 50% of women reported that they only have $500 in their checking account after paying all their bills and expenses. 51% of women over the age of 50 don't have anything saved for retirement. Yet when we gather, all our conversations seem to be about men and dating, when in reality, we have bigger fish to fry. I think these conversations we're having are a coping mechanism and avoiding what the real issues in our lives are. A man is not going to come save you, babe. You have to save you.
I think those conversations aren't being had because it's hard to look at yourself when the society kind of gives you a break on most things. It's just accountability, right? And there's nowhere else to foist that responsibility onto but yourself. I mean, there are attempts that are constantly made saying, like, in terms of the student debt crisis, and saying, hey, I was 18. I didn't know anything about interest rates or loans. I didn't know anything about this when I signed this and I took out this loan. We hear that in, in the conversation, in the larger conversation. But ultimately, your financial situation is largely your response. And let's be fair. We understand that there's a financial literacy problem. There's these things that aren't taught in schools when they're probably the most critical things you need to understand if you're living in a capitalistic United States, sort of society or Western world. You need to understand money. You need to understand how money works. You need to understand how you're being advertised to and used to consume more debt. There's a reason that women hold more debt than men. You're easily like, and don't shoot the messenger, but there's plenty of studies that show that it's easier to influence women. That's why most of the advertisements are geared towards women. That's why the products there's they're playing on your emotions to sway you left to right. It's not to say that men aren't easily advertised too. There's a reason we all want the same type of car, right? The advertising is just more subtle. They're tied to status, and that usually is what affects us. If I have this, people will view me as this. So when we say that women have more debt than men, it's you know true, but to what significance, right? If we're all in a financial bind, all right, you're a little more poor than I am. We're still in the same boat, right? But that's not a solving thing, right? That's not a thing to point out to say, okay, this is what we can do. This is the issue.